Hello, blue people.
Hello.
You're gonna be making dumplings today, and I'm going to be focusing on 2 different types of fillings. So the very, very first thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to press my tofu. Tofu has quite a bit of water in it, so I'm actually going to slice it, and then I'm going to literally wrap it, a piece at a time. Wrap all of this and more. This is flat, and this is heavy. I'm gonna leave that there for 20 minutes. So I think I'm ready to start assembling things. Now you'll notice that I've got little pieces of Post-it paper on some things. That's to let me know that that ingredient's gonna go into 2 places. Usually, I will absolutely sacrifice these 2 ends. Reach in and pull out the entire seed set if you can. I'm gonna cut that in half. What I really hate is this membrane. It vexes me sorely. So what I'm going to do, I lay it down. My knife is literally parallel to the board, and I'm going to barely shave off this membrane while I unroll the piece of pepper. So now I can cut it this way. Then all we have to do is come across. This is gonna give me enough red pepper for both recipes. For a filling like this, you're gonna wanna do a slightly finer cut. And I'm actually gonna break them up in individual rings so that they'll be easier to deal with. I've got my ground pork standing by. I've got my scallions, my red bell peppers. Now, I know that I can combine those 2 things, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm basically making a meatloaf here. There's meat and vegetables, and then sauce. I don't have any reason not to just put the sauces right in here, except for one thing. Anytime there's an egg holding a filling together, I rather mix all of the liquids in with it first. I don't want to overwork this pork if I don't have to, so I'm not going to just work all this with my hands. I'm going to mix this separately and then combine it. 1 egg, mustard and ketchup. These are not authentic, ladies and gentlemen. They are, however, pretty gosh darn tasty. You've got to have some sweet, you've got to have some hot, you've got to have some sour. And so I'm always adding a little bit of sugar, and there's always going to be salt, always. This is Worcestershire sauce. It likes to sing lead. It doesn't like to play backup, so be careful about the amount. I'm gonna mix this up. Leo, your food yesterday was absolutely inedible. Come help. Get that mixed up. I'm gonna go ahead and mix the vegetable. You know what? Never send a fork to do what your hands can do. Get that completely worked in. Now, at this point, that dish is done. Let us move on. Now this next one is gonna be your steamed dumpling. The first one is a pot sticker. I'm just going to cut my tofu down into very, very small squares. Napa cabbage. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna basically cut this orbitally. I'm kind of cutting at it at an angle, then the top, and then coming around to this angle, and then that's fine enough for me to call it grated. When you're dealing with ginger, lay that down, take your ginger, and notice I've got this thing pressed right down on the parchment. I'm gonna guess that I'm gonna be able to get 2 teaspoons out of that. What do you think, Leo?
Yes, I think that's exactly 2 teaspoons.
Exactly 2 teaspoons. 1. You were right, Leo. It was exactly 2 teaspoons. Well done, lad. All right, so as we continue on the filling, I know that I'm gonna have my liquids in here. My egg's I can put that right in the ginger. I treat the ginger as a wet ingredient. I've got a tablespoon of soy, hoisin sauce, sesame oil, kosher salt, a little bit of black pepper. Chopping up herbs like this, what I tend to do is I try to make it into the smallest, little, tightest bundle, and then I can quickly, and then I'll just go through it very quickly because I want that relatively fine. Hey, look, this is another sauce you can mix up.
Excellent.
My tofu. 1/2 cup of carrot. Last thing I'm gonna do before I put that in, I'm gonna squeeze it. I don't want all that moisture in there. Here's my carrot, Napa cabbage, 2 tablespoons of our red bell pepper, whatever was left of the scallions, cilantro. Now go ahead and get in there and mix that up. How does that feel? Okay.
It feels wonderful.
Except that is, okay, go wash your hands. Nice job,
Good job,
Leah.
Thank you, thank you,
It was
thank you.
nice working with
job,
you.
man.
So now, I'm looking at my final recipe, which is for my dipping sauce. I'm starting with 1/2 cup of soy. Now, you've heard me talk about the balance. You always want some salt. You always want acidity. You always want some heat. The next thing I'm gonna add is garlic.
Yes,
there are a
sir.
lot of different ways to get the paper off of garlic. I tend to just rub it between my hands until everything's loose. I'm keeping this flat, then just straight into the jar. 2 teaspoons of sugar, And then I like my dipping sauce to have a little bit of fat added into them. But just shake this up for a little, and there's my dipping sauce. I have given you the fillings for not one, but two different types of dumplings. All that you have to do at this point is to learn how to make and cook the actual dumplings. I think that we would all be better served by calling in an expert.
So I'm gonna show you how to fold and cook dumplings. These pot stickers today are gonna be really fun. We have a house-made dough. You wanna pull it and make a log out of it. And then you want your nuggets. Each nugget, you wanna put it under a little bit of plastic because they do dry out quick. You're gonna take this nugget, and then you're just going to make it into a ball. After it becomes a ball, just put it on your board. Then that's when you can put a little bit of flour on the board. You put a little flour in your hand, press down, and flour the rolling pin, flatten it. Then you'll turn your skin over, and you'll do the same thing. Now you're gonna make the edges thin. So now you put a little bit of filling. You know, you probably would want to start with a little less than more. Press down. You're just folding it over like a taco. Pinch at the end. Then you're gonna bring a pleat up. You have all your pleats. Press down on the dumpling, and that's what you get. Vegetable dumpling, the pre-made skins are the best. For this wrapper, you want to put a little bit of water around the perimeter of the dumpling. You want to be mindful of the amount of filling you put into the dumpling, folding over, and you just push down on both sides of the dumpling, press down further to pretty much feel the pillow of the filling in. So these are your vegetable dumplings right here. So now we're going to show you how to cook some of these. Make sure that there's a little bit of oil on this paper, and then you will put your vegetable dumpling into the steamer. These dumplings usually will take about 6 to 7 minutes to cook. Pot stickers, you want to get your pan hot, a little bit of oil. You can just get a little bit of the oil under that skin. You want to add the water to the side of the pan, not over the dumplings. You want to add enough so it comes up to about a quarter up the side of the dumpling, and then you're going to cover it. Check it out. What you'll see is the remaining water has these big bubbles. You want all that heat to kind of start developing the crust. Now all it takes to produce a great dumpling is just a little bit of patience and get that nice brown, crispy, crunchy bottom. Vegetable dumplings right here. You're gonna make sure that it's firm. And so there you go.
Oh, so good.
I love stickers.
What'd you guys think?
Yummy.
Love it.